Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to talk about Roger Ver's book, Hijacking Bitcoin, and why it's going viral in cryptocurrency right now. So first of all, if you would take a look at the sales of Hijacking Bitcoin, you can see it's currently an Amazon bestseller. In the category Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, it's number 1, 2, and 7. So pretty remarkable that the bestseller in category Bitcoin is Roger Ver's book, Hijacking Bitcoin. So I hope this sparks your interest. And the reason why the book has become such a bestseller is because of Roger Ver's interview yesterday with Tucker Carlson on the Tucker Carlson show, who is arguably one of the most influential journalists today, to discuss the hijacking of Bitcoin, but also to discuss Roger Ver's personal circumstances, because this has been the first interview Roger Ver has been able to give in over half a year. And this is because Roger Ver was arrested in Spain and is currently facing up to 109 years in prison. So he could spend the rest of his lifetime in prison. And let's watch the kind of announcement for this interview by Roger Ver. He says, "This is a politically motivated persecution that they're using to try to shut me up. My response, a full interview with Tucker Carlson." And he also links freerogernow.org, which is a website with a petition collecting signatures to prevent Roger spending the rest of his life in jail. Let's watch this announcement.
Maybe it's not really about the taxes. Maybe there's something more to the story. Could there be another reason?
Yeah, to be honest, I think they're not really angry about taxes at all. I think they're just angry about my lack of kissing their ring. That's the stuff that all the U.S. propaganda wants you to believe goes on in Russia all the time, but they're doing it right there in the United States of America. This is clearly a politically motivated persecution. They're trying to shut me up.
It's like absurd on its face.
So this is the context for the interview. As it said, Roger Ver was advised not to speak. In a previous interview, his lawyer spoke for him, and he had a sticker with the word censored on it. So at his own risk, he has decided to speak out about what's the persecution that's been happening to him. And for the first time also about his book, about the hijacking of Bitcoin. So this is a great interview to watch, to just get an introduction to what's been happening to Roger Ver as one of the most important persons in cryptocurrency, and as how the government has been coming after him, but also a great introduction about his about the history of Bitcoin and how Bitcoin has become hijacked, because they talk about it, of course, as it says in the title. They talk about it in detail in the interview also. So one more thing that's important about Roger Ver's arrest in Spain back in April and the circumstances is that Roger Ver renounced his US citizenship in 2014 and adopted a St. Kitts and Nevis nationality. He questions the legal basis for his extradition and emphasized that he was not a US citizen during the years in question and adhered strictly to his tax obligations through legal counsel. So the tax thing in question is over 10 years ago. He hasn't been a US citizen in the meanwhile. So yeah, that indeed calls into question why they're coming after him now. And especially it's not, they could just have sent him a fine, and Roger Ver is a billionaire, so he would just have paid the fine, but instead they want to lock him up for the rest of his life. So as he also said in the clip, I think they're not really angry about the taxes at all. So this is a politically motivated persecution because of Roger Ver's role in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a leader, but also in part because of his book documenting the hijacking of Bitcoin. So this is all the context, and it has been very important that Roger got his interview out on the Tucker Carlson show, which gave him a big platform to explain what's been happening and also to talk about his book. So let's now discuss the book, Hijacking Bitcoin. I really loved it. So I bought 6 copies when they were not readily available, just to so they were also available for people at my local Bitcoin meetup. And I've only gotten positive reactions from readers. So everyone seemed to think it was easy to read, accessible, didn't require a lot of prerequisite knowledge, but also that it does a very good job of documenting the history. So at the end of the book, there's more than 10 pages of links to the source material. So if you want to check anything, any of the claims or any of the references inside of the book, you can easily do so with all the footnotes. And then another thing is that the structure of the book is very well designed. So the first part of the book is about the ingenious design. So this talks about how Bitcoin works, what the original vision is, how it works technically, and what kind of the breakthroughs were, so it would be able to become money for the whole world. So this lays out the promise and also kind of why Roger Ver became very involved and the big Bitcoin advocate. So he had the nickname Bitcoin Jesus, which now is maybe a bit ironic, given that he had to document the later hijacking of Bitcoin. So that is part 2 of the book. Part 2 is about a hijacking starting in 2014 with censorship on the main fora and with a new vision for Bitcoin. Instead of peer-to-peer electronic cash for the whole world, some people thought it was meant to become a digital gold, a kind of settlement layer for the banks to do transactions on. It wasn't meant to be used in day-to-day commerce because it wasn't scalable. So this was the start of a debate called the block size debate. And this has also been called the Bitcoin Civil War, because from 2014 to 2017, there was a lot of infighting within the Bitcoin community. And this culminated in a split. So in 2017, there was 2 versions of Bitcoin. There was Bitcoin Core, what we now just call Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash. So 2 different assets, 2 different networks, representing the 2 different visions for the future of the Bitcoin project. And so this brings us at part 3 of the book, which is about the future of the Bitcoin project. So the exact title is Taking Back Bitcoin. So that's the title of the 3rd chapter, the 3rd part of the book. And this lays out how Bitcoin Cash came to be, and then how Roger Ver became a big advocate of Bitcoin Cash, and he kind of gave up on Bitcoin. He became a very vocal critic, now documenting the whole history in his book, Hijacking Bitcoin. And so he lays out that there still is a vision forward for the original vision to scale Bitcoin to the whole world, that the Bitcoin has not lived up to its potential. So despite it reaching $100,000, it has far short of the vision envisioned by the people who were involved early on. So this is in large part due to censorship, but also he documents potential involvement of intelligence agencies. But even despite regarding this, even if we leave this aside, there's 2 visions now, and the original vision still lives on. So that's kind of the last chapter presents a positive vision for the future about the cryptocurrency industry and Bitcoin. So knowing all about the hijacking history, how do we move forward? Where do we go from there? So it kind of presents this positive vision about what Roger Ver thinks should happen. And this has had a very big impact on me. I first heard Roger Ver's arguments in 2018, and now I'm a full-time Bitcoin Cash developer working to realize this vision and trying to make Bitcoin live up to its potential so it doesn't become just a digital gold settlement layer. So if this interests you, if this sparks curiosity, I encourage you to learn more, either through this initial interview with Roger Ver's persecution and where he talks about the hijacking. There's many Roger Ver interviews where he lays out the discussion. Or if you're interested, I highly recommend the book. So this gives all the information in one place where you can read the history chronologically. And you don't need any prerequisite knowledge. You can just start learning with chapter 1 about the Bitcoin workings and the history. And I think it is the best place to start if you don't have any prior Bitcoin knowledge. So that wraps it up for me. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed my review of the book and also to learn more about the persecution of Roger Ver. Hopefully this persecution will stop soon so he doesn't have to face extradition or jail time. Thank you everyone for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.